Draining engineering. You always want to look down when you go through something like this. There's been so much erosion. There's no telling what the water might uncover that's been buried underground for years. More trails from locals off to the side. I keep seeing those surveyor tapes. I don't know if someone's been surveying back here or maybe locals marking trails. I don't know. We could stop here and listen to the babbling brook. I like this trail because it's quiet. You feel like you're 100 miles away from everybody, but you're not. I mean, I'm not sure how far houses are in that direction, but behind me, you're only maybe a mile away. You know, you will occasionally hear a lawnmower or something from one of the houses, but you never really hear motor vehicle traffic, or people talking. Bird over there singing to us somewhere. I guess he's happy to see us. I don't think the frogs were. Have to be careful where I step. Some of this is deep. I mean, not deep enough to drown in, but deep enough to come up over my work boots. And here's part of the metal cable. You find it in various places along the trail. You know, it's been buried just by natural erosion, and it comes up sometimes. Sometimes there's at least one spot I saw it was stuck on a tree. So as the tree grew, the cable went up in the air with it. But I'm no trolley expert, but I believe that is what that is. That's the cable that the trolley for the trolley car rode on to pick up its electricity. That's where Guilford Preserve starts. I'll show you that sign when we get over there. I still got some navigating of rough trail or river. It's not really a trail right now, it's a river. And here is the drainage construction I was talking about. Because I don't know why else you would build this unless you dug a ditch and filled it with, or lined it with rocks to give the water a place to go. And you can see how this is built up, the trail bed, but there's no reason to build it up here. It's at the bottom of this hill. So my guess is they built it up to make a dike on one side, and then you got the hill on the other side, and they put a ditch between the two, and then they lined it with rocks so the water would follow the rocks away from the tracks. That's my guess, my best guess. I mean, you could argue it's a retaining wall, but I don't think that this is steep enough for it to need a retaining wall. Maybe they had a lot of trouble with erosion. That's possible too. Maybe it was there more for erosion. They built up this side and did a ditch to catch any small landslides. That's possible. Again, I'm just guessing. Now what, crickets? Sounds like crickets. No, that's just my guess. 100-year-old flood control. There's the cable again. Over here, I think what you're seeing is this drainage ditch still in use. You know, the rest of it has had landslides into it and it's buried. But this still seems to be functioning the way they intended it to. And there's really no need for a retaining wall there either. So that's why I think that's what this is. Just that when it got down here, because of a landslide, it turned into the trail. And the same on that side. I believe they did a trail, they did a ditch on both sides. And that one is also, probably hit that fallen tree and couldn't go any further, so it turned into the trail. Again, I mean, you can see that's an intentional ditch. That's my guess. And this is where you enter Guilford. Easy to know when you enter Guilford. You put a sign there. And telling you what's not allowed. So the trail doesn't change any other than it's maintained on the Guilford side. Part of it they mark so you can use this trail as a trail, as a marked trail. But most of it, the section heading towards North Branford, isn't marked as a trail. I'm assuming they don't want to encourage anyone to go this way because it's not a marked trail on the North Branford side. But again, that's just a guess. And again, you can also see the ditch on the side a lot better here. I just can't believe, you know, this is all just from natural erosion. And you don't see the ditch all the way along the track. So I think when they were putting this in, they ran into a flooding issue, an erosion issue, and they put these ditches in. And they lined them with rocks because, what do they call it, a French drain, I believe. Rather than a pipe, you just use rocks because water always seeks the easiest route, and flowing on top of and in between rocks is always easier than dirt. Coming into more frogs. Yep, feather. What? Seagull? I don't know. Frogs know I'm approaching, so they're slowly being quiet. As they'll say, "Shh, I hear someone." After I walk by, they'll start up again. More houses. And then the trail blazes that you see down here are from the Guilford Preserve. So you can go online and get a map to see where their trails go, but they do cross the trolley line. I have to assume the Guilford put in that little bridge for you. And we got a little pond. I don't know if this belongs to Guilford or if it belongs to that house. If it doesn't belong to the house, the guy's got a great deal. He's got a pond in his backyard that he can enjoy and doesn't have to pay the taxes on it. There's no trespassing signs, and he's got a fence up there, so I'm going to guess he doesn't own this pond. But again, I'm just guessing. Oh, here's the trolley line wire all the way over here. I don't know why it would be all the way over here unless somebody dragged it over here. As you can see, it's a fairly straight trail. I would call it easy trail, but because of all the debris on it and the mud, I'd have to call it moderate. But there's no uphill or downhill. It's all pretty much level. And again, that's one of Guilford's trailblazers, so they're using the old trolley line as part of their trail. I don't know if they ever had something here on the original trail, the original trolley line, I mean. They might have had a pipe or something here for the water to flow under the trail, the track. I mean, unless, you know, this pond was put in after the trolley came through, someone might have dug this out for some reason. But I don't believe 100 years ago they would have allowed the water to cross like that. And this wooden bridge, that's new. That's just because of we've had so much rain lately. I don't know if Guilford did that or who did that, but normally this is just a trickle you can step over. And like I said, recently we've had a lot of rain. And as you can see, that's really flowing. That's a lot of force. A lot of water. Kind of a sketchy bridge, but even if it breaks, you don't fall very far. Worst you'll do is get your feet wet. Not much holding that up. Hopefully that doesn't fall on somebody. Well, I guess we had another washout here. Again, that was just from the heavy rain. This isn't usually washed out. Again, something's been through here. see where they had to cut through this rock. See the drill marks. I don't know what they would have used 100 years ago. Steam? Steam powered drill? I don't know. Ooh, an owl. See if he hoots again. Well, maybe he's just flying by. Well, now he's playing with me. He knows I'm trying to record him. I'm guessing this is solid rock straight across the trail. I do not recommend going beyond this point. What happens is the trail disappears, becomes a footpath. You don't see it built up on the sides. I'm assuming it's because you're out of the swamp and they were able to put the bed on level ground. So the woods just took it over. It's all overgrown. And the further you go, I don't know what point you leave the Guilford Land Trust, but I know at some point you do leave their property. And I don't know who owns the trail further up, but I do know, because I walked it once, and these houses just keep getting closer and closer and closer until you feel like you're walking through someone's backyard. And I stopped when I did feel like I was going to be in someone's backyard. So I'm assuming at some point the trail was sold. But it's just not an enjoyable walk. It's not a trail anymore. It's just walking through the woods once you go much further. So I don't recommend going any further than the pond, really. I mean, you can come up this far to this house, just a little further, but the pond is about it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.